Croeso I Parc Coed Gwilym. Welcome to Coed Gwilym Park here in Clydach. Bore da pawb. Thank you everybody for joining us on what is our very first event. So round of applause.
The beginning of a new parkrun is always a special time, and we were delighted to form part of the volunteer team at the inaugural Parc Coed Gwilym parkrun. We don't normally include any parts of the run briefing in our videos, but as this is a special occasion, let's hear from event director Gareth.
As many of you will know, it takes a lot of people, it takes a village, as they say, to get a parkrun up and running, and I can't thank our volunteers enough, so can I have a massive round of applause for all our volunteers. Quite apt that our very first event falls within Volunteer Week, I think, given how much effort it's taken to get us up and running. I'm brought to mind of the film Field of Dreams. You know, build it and they will come. That's exactly how it feels standing up here at the moment, looking at you all. I want to give a special thanks to a very special gentleman that some of you from the village will know, David Rook. I think some of David's family are here today, so if they are, thank you for joining us. David was the driving force behind getting this parkrun up and running. He was a bit of a force of nature for those of us who knew him. He's very much the driving force between getting the cafe, between getting the path around the field and getting the parkrun up and running. Now, unfortunately, David passed away in April, so never got to see the fruits of his labour. But as a lasting memorial for David, we have named one of our corners after him. It was originally going to be called Chaos Corner. It's now called David's Corner, which I'm sure his family will agree is a very apt name for it.
And we're off on Parc Coed Gwilym parkrun, event number 1. We start off by doing 2 laps of this playing field, which includes a rugby pitch on the far side, and it is all on tarmac or firm paths. But as you can see, it's quite narrow, so we were advised to stay in single file and less overtaking. So this parkrun takes place in the village of Clydach, which is about 6 miles outside of Swansea. By my reckoning, this is the 19th different parkrun I've completed in Wales, and I have to say about Welsh parkruns that every time I come, the people are super friendly, but not only that, they're really proud of their town, their area, their culture, and everything to do with their local running scene, and this parkrun was to prove to be no exception to that. So I'm just settling into pace. I think at the minute I'm in about 12th position. All the people in front of me are males. Now I have got my eye on perhaps finishing first in my age category, which is vet male 55 to 59. Obviously people don't run around with numbers attached to their back saying what age they are, but you can generally get a good idea of who might be in your age category. So as well as me filming this point of view footage, Dawn also had the GoPro and she was filming this wonderful sight of runners snaking all around this field. Back to my camera now. Yeah, a wonderful sight of all these people, I think 201 in all, enjoying this inaugural parkrun. Tight right hand turn there. I think there were about 4 90-degree turns per lap. Remember, we're going to do this field twice at the beginning of the run, twice at the end of the run, so that's 4 times 4. When I was at school that was 16, and then there's a further left hand turn at the end, so I think there's 17 90-degree turns, and there's also one 180-degree turn at the far point of the course when you turn around. It's going past a fella in a 500 shirt there. Well done to you, sir. And now we've got a little bit of a clear run on this narrow path. So at the end of this path, we're going to take another sharp right angle turn, which you can see coming up here, thanking the marshal. And then another maybe 10-15 yards further on, we have the sharp left hand turn, and another 10 yards further on, we have a sharp right hand turn. The left hand turn there is where you go to in the finish. We're not there yet. No, we've only done about 0.3 of a mile, and we've got another lap of this field to complete now. So if you are looking to improve your cornering, this is certainly a parkrun to come to. I'm not the best corner, I almost come to a standstill and have to get going again. So yeah, a good parkrun for practicing getting momentum out of corners, but then you've got this nice long flowing path here as well, where you can build up some speed. So depending on how quickly you are completing this parkrun, and I'm looking for somewhere around 20 minutes, you will start to overtake people at this point. You might overtake people running a similar pace to you, but also start lapping people, so patience is required. Remember, parkrun is for everybody. There's that right hand turn again. Parkrun is for everybody to enjoy this run and to be considerate of each other, and so everyone can enjoy their Saturday mornings, particularly in this beautiful setting of South Wales. And that's precisely what we have here, everybody remaining in single file as advised at the run briefing at the beginning. So just coming up to that right angle turn, which will then be followed by a left angle turn and another right angle turn, so that's 3 90-degree turns, or 270 in all when I was at school doing maths. So this park that the parkrun takes place in is a very well appointed park. We came across a bowling green, there's a little museum heritage centre at one edge of the park, and there's facilities for many sports to take place here. So it's lovely to see a parkrun added to all the community facilities that the people of Clydach and the surrounding area can enjoy. So just weaving through a few runners about to set off on their second lap of this field. They're going to swing a right at what was going to be known as Chaos Corner, but it's become known as David's Corner, and I'm going to swing a left to head out of the park and onto, well, what was my favourite bit of the course, being a bit of a history buff, which is the Swansea Canal. And as you can see, as we bend round out of the park and down towards the canal, we've still got this lovely smooth tarmac to run on. We do a little right, and there we have the Swansea Canal to our left and a lovely bit of flat tarmac to run in front of us. Running heaven for me, history to my left and a flat piece of tarmac right in front of me. So we've got a few people who have been very patient during those first 2 laps, including this guy with a buggy, and are going to come through and push on in front of me. So I think I'm still now, having overtaken a few people in the field, but having these 3 come past me, again in about 8th or 9th position on this inaugural Parc Coed Gwilym parkrun. By the way, for all our Welsh viewers out there, I hope I've got that pronunciation right. Actually, Dawn is doing a Duolingo course on Welsh. She was actually born in Wales, but I was born in good old East Anglia, so doing my best to put on correct Welsh pronunciation. So through kilometre 1 in 4:07, not quite 20-minute pace, but I was proceeding quite cautiously and considerately on those first couple of laps where you're weaving through people. And here's Dawn also enjoying Ring Along the Canal at her point in the run too.
Yes, I was enjoying the canal and taking the parkrun nice and easy as I was running the Swansea Half Marathon the next day.
So let's dive into a short history lesson about the Swansea Canal. It was constructed between 1794 and 1798, and unsurprisingly, as we're in South Wales, it was mainly used to transport coal and iron and later steel. It ran originally for 16.5 miles, but since falling into disuse, various bits have been filled in, but there is still 5 miles to be enjoyed as a leisure walk, run or cycle along here. And I went to explore a little bit of it on my warm-up. Don't worry, you don't have to run under here in the parkrun because you'd be in trouble unless you're about 3'6" tall. So back to the parkrun, and you can see people starting to drop back a little bit towards me. This gives me the incentive to try and push on and maintain a good strong pace. But yeah, this parkrun has got something for everybody. It has history, it has a great community spirit, it has fast paces if you want to practice running fast in a straight line on tarmac, which is my happy running place. It's also got corners if you want to practice that, and it's just a wonderful place to be on a Saturday morning. So thank you to everybody involved with setting this parkrun up. So looking at things so far, this looks like a parkrun for most weathers. We're not going to get much mud accumulating on this beautiful tarmac. I would imagine, given the shelter under these trees and hedges, that this path won't ice very much, but maybe a local can correct me on that. So I can see this being a very popular draw for people in the South Wales area and for tourists coming to do this parkrun, and I'd highly recommend it. So look at the paces. I did a 4:04 kilometre 2 after a 4:07 kilometre 1, so picking it up a little bit. I'm targeting a couple of runners in front of me. As I said, I'm hoping to finish high up in my age category today, as I love a little bit of competition, and I think deep down many park runners would agree with me from the comments we usually get on our videos. So we're just going to see the leader coming back down. I think he won this parkrun by a good margin, high 17 minutes I think he finished up with. There we go, well done sir. And I think the next runner was in the 19s. So yeah, I love an out and back parkrun where you can see people coming back or in front of you, and you can also see people coming up behind you, and you get to see the lovely variety of people doing this park run for all different reasons, whether it's a community event, whether it's to chase a time, there's a run in second, whether it's to chase a time, or whether it's just to be amongst friends and community. Absolutely wonderful sight to see all over the country. Well over 800 park runs in the UK now. So we've had runner 1 coming past, we've had runner 2 coming down. So what position am I in as we approach the 180-degree turn? Well, there's a fellow went past me in the buggy, absolutely flying along. So that's 3 runners gone past. And you can just see the U-turn coming up, number 4, 5, 6. So I'm currently in 7th. I've obviously had a good look at each of them to see if any of them might be veterans. And the one I've picked out is the fella just in front of me in the green top. Obviously, people don't run around park runs with numbers attached to them, but I thought, possibly he could be in my age category. So let's give an extra little fix on him. He's obviously a very popular guy because as we're running back down the canal, plenty of his clubmates coming up were saying well done to him. And I can see why by looking at his parkrun history after all the stats came out after the run. So yes, we've talked in the past on this channel about different types of parkrun course, and I really do like an out and back. There's something in my mentality I like going to a place and then returning from that place in the same direction. When we do a lot of our training runs at home, I'll just run out along the old Trans-Pennine Trail, an old railway line, to a point, turn around and come back to where I started. We have talked about different types of parkrun courses, maybe 1-loop courses, 2-loop courses. Everybody has their preference, but I bet whatever type of parkrun course you like, you wouldn't regret coming here. So yeah, just gone past the fella in the green top, but he's a hard one to shake off. So instead of looking over my shoulder repeatedly like I normally do on parkrun, I'm just going to, oh, there we go, looking over my shoulder like I do repeatedly on parkrun, I'm going to fix on the parkrunners ahead and try and reel in perhaps the next person. Waiting to see where Dawn is, and here she comes now. And with the amazing multiple camera angles, well 2 anyway, you're able to see what it looks like coming from the opposite direction. So yeah, 2 fellas in front, and here's how the magic happened with the Insta360 on my head, you can see there, and then we're off again from my point of view. So as you can see, with runners going in both directions, the canal towpath is plenty wide enough to accommodate people. So yes, on those first couple of laps where you might be doing a little bit of weaving, it really doesn't matter. Just be patient because there's plenty of time to build into pace here. As you've seen me do from a 4:07 first kilometre to a 4:04 second kilometre, and let's see what kilometre number 3 was. Yes, we're getting slightly progressively quicker with a 4:00. So really enjoying running down here. Got to push hard now. Focus on the fella in front of me with a 100 t-shirt and try and get closer to him. And in the meantime, hopefully putting a little bit of daylight between myself and the fella in green I've overtaken, who I think might be in the same age group as I am. So I gradually clawed in the fella in black, and I think I'm now about to move into 5th place in the parkrun. There's a fella in a light coloured top in front of me, a good 50 yards ahead, so let's keep working hard and see how close we can get to him. Yeah, working hard and willing the bend back into the park to come fairly soon, and then when we reach that we have 2, remember this folks, 2 further full laps to do of the field where we first started the parkrun. Yeah, it's always lovely to return to Wales. This is now 2025. We first came to Wales to do our very first parkrun back in 2008 over in Cardiff. And as I said earlier in the video, every parkrun in Wales we've been to have been welcomed with open arms, and people have been genuinely proud to showcase their area, their local park and their parkrun. So thank you to all the volunteers, everybody who has made this parkrun happen and put a new parkrun on the Welsh parkrun map. And eventually we reach the end of the canal section. We take a left back onto the field up to David's Corner, and then take another left, and what you'll see in a minute as we just crest the path onto the field is today's leader is going to come flying past me in a minute. So remember, we said there are 2 laps to do the finish. He's done 1 of them. He's on his 2nd lap now, so he's coming in between myself in 5th and the fellow in the light top in 4th. This is the one point in the parkrun where I did question my life choices on a Saturday morning, when I realised we had to go around it on another 2 occasions rather than just 1. But let's get our head down. There's the guy in front of us in the light top still to try and chase, but although he's looking quite strong, the leader's gone off in front of him, so I just need to power out this last couple of laps and try and make sure that the guy who might be in my age category, who might be just behind me, isn't going to come back. You might see me look around occasionally. Just keep looking forward, John, and get to the end. back to that right angle turn and up past the rugby stand in a minute. So yes, parkrun. This parkrun has something for everybody. If you want to push hard and try and get a position like I am, in an age group position, it's there for you. If you want to chase the time, like I'm looking at my watch there, it is there as a good time trial. If you want to come and take part in a lovely positive event around positive people in a park, it's there for you too. For psychological and physical health and well-being, it's a wonderful addition for the village of Clydach to all the other activities that go on. Now I'm just going to pause the video here, and one thing to be very wary of, particularly if you're running around lots of people, is to make sure you do 2 laps and don't turn left here. It's very easy to get sucked into a crowd, turn left and run short. So remember, it's 2 laps at the end, not 1. Just going past Gareth there, the event director, and a very proud day for him. I'm sure he gave us a warm welcome, and I think as far as we saw, everything went off really smoothly. Even the rain had held off at the beginning. You can just see it starting to come down now on the camera. We did get a bit of a downpour. They got the marshals there in their umbrella. Thank you to them for continuing to stand out in the wet. And I've got to go around this field for a 4th and final time. And you can see people starting to blend into the course now, like Mr. 25 shirt here, who has got 2 laps to go, whereas I'm on my final lap. That's where mistakes might occur at that final turning point, where you think, oh, I'll just follow that fella who's just passed me. A couple of people just to weave past here. I forgot to give him a 4K split, but there's all the splits from 1 to 5. I think that's what we call a pleasantly, progressively paced parkrun. The 5K came a little early on my watch, as it did for a few others, so I'll just put the sound up now so you can enjoy the last few yards of the Parc Coed Gwilym parkrun inaugural event.
Calm down. All right.
Thank you, cheers, yeah. At this point, the finish line volunteers did ask if I needed to sit on the bench and catch my breath. No, I needed to watch Dawn come in and see how she got on. But firstly, the scores on the doors. Drop a comment below if you remember what TV programme that came from. 5th place overall, 1st in my age category, and that fella just behind me was in my age category. I think I won by 11 seconds. 3rd age grade overall, and I guess that is because it's event number 1. I guess I hold the age category record. You know, I hadn't really thought about that before coming to this inaugural event. Had I, Dawn?
Now, the thought of an age category record never entered your head.
And then Dawn just heading round to do the 2nd of the 2 laps at the end. And here she is coming at the finish, the wrong side of the fella in the 100 t-shirt, with no concept of effective content creation for me.
I had a lovely run. I ran a steady pace and finished in just over 26 minutes.
So, fantastic morning out in South Wales, an absolute privilege to be able to take part in this inaugural parkrun, and we'd like to thank everybody who made us feel welcome. We hope if you are coming to do this parkrun in the future, you find this video useful in terms of checking out the course and making sure you appreciate everything that Parc Coed Gwilym parkrun has to offer. So the next new parkrun we do will be my 300th event, so looking forward to that. And if you'd like to see where we go, then please subscribe to the channel. It might be 2 or 3 weeks time due to other racing commitments.
So until next time, keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.